Students, this is a recording for the Algebra Skills Review from the in-class Lesson 1.0 packet. If you didn't finish it in class, this will help you work through it. When we're working here with a proportion, the first thing I always want you to do is draw your cross multiplication arrows. So you're going to draw it this way, and then draw it that way. And now as you do that, step 2 is to actually write out your distributive situation here. And so we're going to have 3 parentheses 5x minus 1 equals 5 parentheses x plus 1. And then you want to do the distributive. Put your pen on 3 and you draw 2 distributive lines. Next line reads, this is 15x minus 3 equals 5x plus 1. Now we're going to solve for x. So I want my x's on one side, so I'm going to minus 5x, and then that gives us 15 minus 5x gets me 10x. This cancels. Minus 3 equals, that should be a 5. Then I do this. I'm going to go plus 3, and that gives me 10x equals 8. I want to get rid of that 10, so I divide both sides by 10. So x equals 8 over 10, or 4 over 5. Don't assume just because your answer is a fraction that it's wrong. Just double check your work, but fractions are numbers too, so getting a fraction doesn't always mean you're getting something wrong. Let's try this one. I want you to try the one on your right on your own. I'm going to give you 1 minute, and then I will happily go over it with you. So take 1 minute, solve for n. Go. Alrighty, let's see how you did. Step number 1, you should have cross multiplied with those little cross multiplication arrows. So something like this. So cross multiply, and then you cross multiply this way. Draw those arrows, please, and then we're going to go 6 parentheses n minus 4 equals 2 parentheses 5n minus 6. Then you distribute. And we have 6n minus 24 equals 10n minus 12. Now you're going to isolate your variables on one side and your numbers on another. So I'm going to go minus 6n, And we should have here now, that cancels, negative 24 equals 4n minus 12. Now I'm going to go ahead and do plus 12 plus 12. That's negative 24 plus 12. That only gets me to negative 12. And this is 4n, so we divide by 4. And we end up with n equals negative 3. All right, now we're going to learn how to simplify a radical, and there's two ways. We're going to learn what's called going out on a date and getting out of jail. Okay, going out on a date looks like this. Step number 1, you're going to factor tree this. And since it's even right there, I'm just going to use 2 all the way down. So I have 2 and 54, and 2 and 27. 27 divided by 3 is 9, and then this is 3 and 3. You want to look out for the dates. That means the doubles. So we have a pair of 2s. So we have, and if you have a date, they go out as a single couple, so that's going to be 1, 2. And then we have a pair of 3s that's going to come out as 1, 3. And then this last 3 does not have a date, so it's going to stay under the radical. 2 times 3, when you multiply those on the outside, your final answer is going to be 6 root 3. Get out of jail. Instead of doing a factor tree, all you do is you prime factor what's on the inside. That means you factor it down to nothing but primes. Let me show you how to do that. So here we have 5, and then make a very large, what I call a jailhouse, a giant jailhouse. And we're going to prime factor 54, which of course is 6 times 9. But we're going to break those down. So 6 times 9. This 6 is going to be 2 times 3. And this 9, of course, is going to be 3 times 3. Now, to break out of jail, you have to have a partner to get out of jail. So we're looking for, again, those doubles. And we have a pair of 3s. So they're going to come out. So what you end up with on the outside, we multiply 3 times 5, that's 15. This 2 and the 3 has no partner. They can't break out of jail, so it's just root 6. So your final answer here is 15 root 6. I'd like you to factor this and simplify it yourself. You have a minute. Ready, go. Okay, take a look here. Step number 1, you should have factored this on the inside. So I'm just going to do a factor tree. That's 2 and 24, 2 and 12, 2 and 6, 2 and 3. Now I'm going to pull out my dates. I have a pair of 2s. They're going to come out. That's a 2. And then I have another pair of 2s. They're going to come out as a single couple. This 3 here has no date, stays home, so it's going to be root 3. Now on the outside here, you want to take these and multiply them. So we do 2 times 2, which is 4, times 5 is 20. So 20 root 3 is your answer there. Now when you add and subtract radicals, the very first thing you want to do is make sure everything under there is simplified. And the way you do that is we're going to prime factor all of these, all the way down. Now, this 2 here is already prime, so we're just going to pull it down. So that's going to be negative root 2. This 12 here is not prime, so I'm going to break it down into prime factors. So I'm going to do 2 times 6, break it down to prime factors. So that's going to be 2 times 2 times 3. That's 2 times 6. Minus root 8, which is 2 times 4, but I'm going to prime factor it, so it's 2 times 2 times 2. All right, now I look for my dates and see what I can pull out. I can circle that pair of 2s. We're going to pull out a 2. Circle this pair of 2s. We're going to pull out a 2. So this is going to be negative root 2 minus 2 comes out, root, that 3 stays in there, minus, bring that 2 out, 2 square root of 2. Now when you add or subtract radicals, all you do is you collect like kinds, just like x's and y's. There's a root 2 here and a root 2, and then this is root 3. Root 3 is not an alike kind, so I'm going to collect my alike kinds. So I do this. This is minus 1 root 2 minus 2 root 2. So minus 1 minus 2 root 2 minus 2 root 3. And this right here, we're going to end up with negative 3 root 2 minus 2 root 3. And this is your final answer. Try to follow the same process on the right-hand side. They give you, again, a minute. You want to factor it out, simplify, try to follow the same steps. You have a minute, go. Let's see how you did here on the right-hand side. Step number 1, we want to find out, see if we can't prime factor any of these. That's the first thing we're going to do. So we're going to, this time I'm going to do a factor tree. You can't break 3 down, so we can't break this down. This we can break to 2 and 10, 2 and 5. This we could break down to 2 and 6, 2 and 3. We're going to pull out our dates here. I have a pair of 2's. They're going to come out as a 2 here. And here I have another pair of 2's. That's going to come out right here. So the next line should read negative root 3 plus, this is going to be 2 times 2, square root of 5 minus 2 square root of 3. That 2 came from those 2 coming out. So it's negative square root of 3 plus 4 root 5 minus 2 root 3. Now we want to collect like terms. And my like terms here are the root 3's. So I have negative root 3 minus 2, so that's negative 3 root 3 plus 4 square root of 5. These are not like terms, so we are done. That is your answer. Now for something like this, we're going to distribute a radical. So we obviously have, this means multiply. Step 1, I'd like you to draw an arrow from this to here, and draw another arrow from this to here. Now for the blues, only outies multiply to outies. So we're going to do 2 times 2 root 6, because there's no innies there, minus that 3 and the 2 multiply, 2 and 3 square root, and then under the radical sign we have the 6 and the 3 because those are innies. Now, we want to prime factor everything out to simplify it. So our next line should read like this. 2 times 2 square root of 2 times 3 minus 2 times 3 square root of 2 times 3 times 3. We're looking to see if we can take anything out. There's no dates here, so nothing comes out. Over here, a pair of 3's comes out with 1 3. Next line reads, 2 times 2 is 4, root 6 minus 3 times 2 is 6, times 3 again is 18, square root of 2. These are not alike kinds, so we're going to stop right here. 4 root 6 minus 18 root 2. I'd like you to try this one on your own. I'm going to give you a minute. All right, so step number 1 is we're going to multiply here. And we go like this and we go like that. So let's just spell it out. So we're going to have 3 square root of 3 times 3 square root of 2 plus 3 square root of 3 times 2 root 3. Let's multiply outies and innies. Outies, 3 times 3, square root of, well, let's multiply the innies. The key to multiplying, though, is actually not multiplying. You're going to be factoring here. Let's try this one over here. Outies, 3 times 2, times innies. That's going to be 3 times 3. And then we are, in the middle, adding. Okay, ready? Now we're going to see if we can't factor. Look on the inside here. Is there anything that we can pull out? No. Is there anything we can pull out here? The answer is yes. You have a date. So we're going to bring these out. And they both come out, so we have a 3 on the outside here. So let's wrap this up. We have 3 times 3, that becomes 9. Square root of, that becomes 6. Plus 3 times 3 is 9. Times 2 is 18. And there's nothing left. So your final answer here is going to be 9 root 6 plus 18.